This week on Talk of the Town, we talked to the local police departments to see how they're doing on their July challenge to support young entrepreneurs. Allie Dennis was one of the first for local officers to visit this summer, and she insisted on giving their treat free of charge. We talked to her and a couple others to see how their business ventures are going. Master Officer Crystal Beck, Chief Dustin Cordova, and Officer Rusty Bingham discussed the challenge and what it's done for the community. We also covered Tremont's heydays and talked to Parks and Recreation Director Zach Lefevre.
So Allie, just tell us a little bit about your snow shack and how long you've done this.
I've done this for about 2 years now, and I just love going together and making all of them. And I have a bunch of different flavors and everything.
So how did you come up with this idea and how did you get it put into motion?
So one day I was just sitting and I loved snow cones, so I decided I want to make a snow cone shack. And I had my dad help me build the stand, and it turned out so good that we actually had this for the whole time and we haven't done anything to it. I wanted to do it again this summer, but I had to get a new snow cone machine because my last one had chunks of ice. It didn't just go smoothly. It just had chunks of ice in it, and so once you ate it, it tasted kind of weird because there's just chunks.
We had some officers who came and visited you, and you were very insistent that they not pay you. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
So I was about to set up when my mom says, "Do you want to invite the officers?" And I said, "What for?" And she said, "Because they were short-handed." And I said, "Sure." So once they came, I said, "You guys can have a free one." And my mom said, "You guys should have a free one." So I just gave them a free one because they didn't have much, they didn't have enough people. And I just wanted to help them out.
Awesome. And that's actually a really mature response from you to know that they needed that and to do that for them. What were some of their reactions when you said that?
They were like, "Are you sure?" And they were surprised.
Okay, and so how do you feel having a stand like this, being a little young entrepreneur, how do you think that's going to help you with your future?
I think it will just help me get more money for everything, so I can go pay for my college or whatever.
And is there anything else you want people to know?
That they should really help out after the police officers and be good.
I think I was humbled by that when I heard about it. My officers, our goal is to go out there and support these kids that are doing something amazing. They're basically setting up a positive habit for the future, really great parenting as well. And just to hear her perspective as a little kid that absolutely can stand up to these cops and say, "You're not paying because you guys are short-staffed." I mean, it really touched my heart because it's something we've been struggling with out here, and it's just amazing that someone so young could appreciate the service these brave men and women provide the community. So I was very humbled. I was very proud. I was proud of my officers, but I was actually very impressed with this young lady as well.
My name is Ellie, and my parents' names are Kelsey and Ben.
My name is Cassie, and my parents' names are Brooks and Kyle.
This is the first one this year, but I have done others.
Unfortunately, you guys were out there for a few hours but didn't have any officers stop by, so you guys get this idea that you're going to stop by the police station. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
We saw police cars and fire trucks and ambulances, and we got to see what was all in those cars and things.
So you give them the cookies. What's some of the feelings that you had?
Happy.
So several different agencies throughout the state are doing a lemonade challenge. I wanted something that was more focused on Box Elder because Box Elder's officers have a more unique relationship. So we back each other throughout the whole county. Tremont goes all the way to state line and county line, and anywhere as far as south that they need to, and Brigham City does the same, the sheriff's office and UHP, Willard and Perry. So I wanted something that brought us together where we're not just backing each other on critical incidents.
Anytime that with kids they can have a positive interaction with a law enforcement officer, they love it. Kids react, they just think that's the coolest thing ever, that a police officer is showing up and buying lemonade from them. I still think we're fortunate in this area that kids still have a very positive image of the police, rightfully so, because we have a lot of good officers around here. And so to see them light up and to be able to sell an officer a cookie or some lemonade, or even just seeing us and come over and hanging out and talking to them, the kids love it. That would be it was an easy challenge. We love it. They all do a great job. They all provided us with great service, so they're going to be great entrepreneurs. But it's just every single time to just see them light up is fun. I got trained really well by some great officers that were big on community policing, doing block parties and stopping at stands, and we'd pull over and help people mow their lawn. Because I remember growing up having positive interactions with officers, and I remember having negative. Most of the time it was my own fault, but I think it's one of the most important things you can do as an officer. At the end of my career, I'm not going to look back and think, man, I had X amount of arrests, or I had this. I pride myself in looking back and how the community saw me, and how, if I had a positive impact on one kid that was on the fence, that spreads, and then they say, hey, no, cops are good, and it's huge. I think it's one of the most important things we can do as officers is engage in the community, especially with kids, especially in this day and age.
For me, it's an understanding that the police are the public and the public are the police. We're all the same. I know, if you look at global news, there's a lot of bad PR towards law enforcement, and it's really not like that in this community. We have a lot of love and support, and I'm grateful for that, but it's also important that we humanize law enforcement officers. We're not the ones that, we're basically reacting to the environment, and this just reminds our cops and our citizens that we're here to serve, and we're here to support our community just like our community supports us. So it's a two-way road, and it's really important that we engage our communities.
I definitely agree with the chief and Rusty, but Rusty has a different experience too, because he worked Weber County before coming up here, so you didn't always have time. So did the chief. He didn't work Weber County, he worked Salt Lake, but you didn't have time to stop and get lemonade at a lemonade stand. You didn't have time to, just do the little things that we get to do up here. We definitely have a unique relationship, not just with officers, but with our community also. And most of the kids, when they get to see an officer, it's during a traumatic incident, whether it's a car wreck or something bad's happened, and that's the only time they get to see us. But this is a way that they get to see us, like the chief says, as a person. And we stop and we spend maybe 5 or 10 minutes with them getting a glass of lemonade or a cookie, and then that's something that they get to remember all the time. So it's really just something to bring all of our community together.
Yesterday we had 3-4 kids. I want to make sure we get them some notoriety. They came in and drew us pictures, and they wanted to personally give it to police officers, and I believe we had 4 kids.
Yeah, 2 more after you left.
Oh, okay, so maybe even more. But they came in and wanted to give us some pictures that they drew themselves in person, and the ones that I was there, the first one, the parents were in the car, and they just stood there and waited for an officer, which I think is huge, that they decided to take that upon themselves. And then there was another little kid at Maverick. I went in to go get a drink and some lunch. I walked up to pay, and they said, it's been taken care of. And I always like to try and ask who, so I can make sure I can tell them thank you. And they said it was that little boy. and he couldn't be 9 years old, which I thought was pretty awesome. And whether he did it with his mom or dad's permission, or he just took it upon himself, I don't know. But around here, I think the more we do, the more the public sees us as that positive light.
I think it's pretty amazing. I was there the other day, and we just had person after person come in and really share their appreciation, which was huge. And we greatly appreciate the support from our community. Even in our city council meetings, we have people that go out of their way to attend just to let us know all the positive things we're doing. And coming from a bigger city in Salt Lake, that just wasn't happening. And so it's really a cool experience for me to see that up close and personal, and just to see the return on investment that we get when we give to a community like this that really appreciates us and supports us. So just truly amazing. It's been a great response. It's a fantastic idea. I can't give her enough credit, because it's in the top 3 things I've ever seen law enforcement do with COP. So I'm glad it's here, and I'm thankful that she brought it to our city, and I'm also grateful we're winning.
And so as far as it's not going as I expected, because Brigham's not winning. But it's definitely been bigger than I thought it was going to be. I knew that Tremont and Brigham, because we have more officers more on all the time, that we would be doing a lot. But the sheriff's office has 5,600 square miles to cover, and they're not always in the right place at the right time. So I'm really grateful that they've actually been able to hit up a couple of stands. Perry, Manaway, and Willard only have one officer on at a time. So, Manaway and Perry have gotten a couple, but Willard's still in last place. So we're not losing, but I think it's going a lot better than I expected it to. So actually, I think I'm going to throw something in the loop that might make it a little bit more challenging. Brigham City is going to have a dunk tank at Peach Days. So I'd like to challenge all the chiefs that if they lose, they have to participate in our dunk tank. Wow. So I think that might boost the numbers a little bit. I don't know if everyone will go for it. I haven't talked to any of the chiefs yet, but I hope that just as a good community policing thing that they will.
I think it should happen every year. I think this is an excellent opportunity to get us out there, or something similar in nature. It's not hard to go around and get a cup of lemonade from kids, so it seems like a pretty easy challenge to accept. So game on.
Yeah. And I agree. I think these are really positive things, so we'll have to put our heads together and think of further COP initiatives we can do as a community in Box Elder. But yeah, you have our full support.
I don't exactly have anything in the works yet, but I was going to hopefully do like a back to school thing where we get some school supplies for especially elementary kids. Teachers often have to buy those things by themselves, so getting something like that. And then I probably do like a No Shave November, do like the best beard contest. I don't know, but we're definitely going to be doing more and have a lot more out there for our communities.
Let's start off with some of the preparation, volunteer work, all that kind of stuff that goes into an event like this.
It takes a lot of preparation. We have a lot of volunteers here today. The Youth City Council is a huge one that helps us. They give us hundreds and hundreds of man hours throughout the event, and also the preparation that comes into it. Then our city staff, we just work on for a couple months straight trying to get ready for it. So it takes a lot. We had the bounce houses today. There was an unfortunate accident with another company, and the bounce house company they stepped in last second, the day of almost, and pulled it together to come today. So a lot of other people that help and that made it possible. We have a wonderful community. The businesses, the industry in town, they like to support and give back to the community, and that's what this event is all about, is giving back to the community. With the free things that we do charge for a few things, but that's just to try to control it. We don't try to make it outrageous or anything. So the great sponsors, they give almost everything here, or enough money to just go out and buy it. So we love the support that the community has. We have some awesome sponsors. So we started the community dinner back in 2015 with the Tour of Utah. We had a luau with the Tour of Utah, and we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people come out to that, and everyone loved it. So we've continued it ever since, and they just come out for just a almost free dinner that they can just participate in and build community and be next to their neighbors and new people, and be able to just that we're just trying to build community and bring people together. And so everything that we do here is aimed towards that. This year's been great. The only bad thing is obviously the heat. It's the hottest day of the year. We're breaking 100 degrees today, but we added some fun events with the water kickball. It got a little out of hand with it, turned just straight into a water fight. So we may make it into an obstacle course or something next year. But it helped cool down a lot of people. We had adults out there spraying their kids, and everyone was just having a great time. So it's been a great event.
What would you say is your favorite event, or your family's?
Well, for me, the end, obviously, like the next day. But I just love putting it on for the community, to get everyone involved, to just to see the smiles on people's faces. So I honestly love it all. I mean, the car show is huge. It's awesome. The family games, I mean, that's one of the favorites of everyone. And just to see friends and just to meet new people, it's all great. We'll start planning about February, so it takes us a good time. That's when we start brainstorming. That's when we start reviewing our notes from this year and seeing what we can improve on, what we need to change, or what's going great, and hopefully just add a little bit here and there. So February we start meeting and going that route. The fireworks, that's when everyone comes into town. The park gets just crammed, and you can just hear the excitement in the air when the fireworks are getting ready to start. It's just a great event. Heydays 2023 is almost done, so if you're not here, you missed out.
Next week, we'll cover a local pet adoption and chat with the new head coach of the girls soccer team, Jessica Wade. We'll meet some of those players and try out our fun and games segment. That's the talk of the town next week.